Call this meeting to order. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is the June 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Duxbury Selectboard. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, and as amended as of March 28th, 2025, this meeting will be conducted in person and as a courtesy via remote means in accordance with applicable law. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public and board members, the meeting/hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. This meeting will be recorded by the local scene, formerly known as PAC-TV. Members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so by watching Duxbury Government Access Channels Verizon 39 or Comcast 9. Viewers can visit thelocalscene.media/Duxbury for information about Duxbury programming, including streaming and watching replays on Duxbury YouTube. Our first order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is open forum. This is the part of the agenda where we can raise items not on the agenda, but we can put things perhaps on a later agenda if they need to be discussed. I'll start from my right. Fernando, anything for tonight?
No, I don't have anything for tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Amy?
I just had a quick question. I would have asked Rainey had he been here or done it under the town manager report. I'm interested to know in where we are in our performance evaluation. I think the dates got, I think we're beyond the dates that Jeannie had put out. So I'm just wondering if I could get an update as to where we are in that process.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a couple of things. I've just come from a coastal resiliency task force meeting, and they were going to be pursuing some grants for Harrison Street for that bridge and some clean water stuff, and that's it's been decided against by others, and so I think they'd like to come before the board. Maybe sometime in July or August. I don't know before that, but to find out what is it that the town and the select board wants that board to do. Because they have come with many suggestions and recommendations and projects in the past, and so far there's not been anything that's happened. And so there's a little frustration on the board, on the task force.
So are you thinking, just a question, are you thinking something in the way of a joint meeting, potentially?
Well, that would be something that we could definitely do.
Okay. Amy?
Maybe through the chair, if it's not inappropriate, could we find out why at the last meeting, I think you had reported that they were going to move forward with some grant opportunities. Is there a reason that we are no longer moving forward with those?
Well, there's 2 grants coming up, Rising Tide grants on educational projects that we're waiting to hear from. But there was 2 grants that they were working on, are about to work on for the Harrison Street, and they just decided, the town decided that was not a priority.
The town? Who's the town?
Well, so with Rainey and Sheila, and Mary spoke with Leslie Fields from Woods Hole Group, and they wanted to reevaluate and see what the priorities are. So I'd like to, I'd like to know what the priorities are as well, so I can help the group move forward.
Okay.
Or disband. I mean,
Yep.
I don't want them to disband. They're a great group of people, and with an enormous amount of knowledge and how to do things, and but yeah.
Are the grants that we're speaking of time sensitive so that
We're starting to discuss this, I'm sorry. I think,
Yeah.
is that a first statement?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that,
Sure. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
just move on down the line.
Yep.
Mike?
sorry, Amy, I was just concerned about it.
No,
the meeting.
I would ask the chair, though, to maybe find out if those grants are time sensitive.
I
And
will
if
inquire.
not, we could get it back on an agenda to further discuss
No,
before
they're
those
time
deadlines.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they are time sensitive.
Okay.
That's easy enough to answer.
I will inquire. Mike?
I do not have anything tonight.
Okay, thanks. I have just a few things before we go to the public. First and foremost, thanks very much to American Legion Post 223 for the Memorial Day observations in the parade last week. Relatedly, speaking of veterans, the DBMS is hosting a Veterans on the Bay event on Saturday, June 21st from 9:30 to 12:30. It will include rowing, powerboat rides, accessible sailing, light refreshments, and a cash bar. It's free for veterans, but registration is required. Please register at dbms.org/outreach. That's dbms.org/outreach. A reminder, MBTA Communities Working Group is holding its final forum. It's going to be this Wednesday, the 4th, at 1 p.m. at the Duxbury Free Library. And finally, Michelle is forwarding to my colleagues on the board a worksheet that I prepared with Mary's assistance in anticipation of our discussion next week for the fiscal 2027 budget priorities. I was doing some thinking about how we want to organize the discussion, because we want to leave next week with a list, basically. So I pulled together an Excel spreadsheet, literally, and had Mary help me list all the departments and priorities that we need to rank, and it will give us an opportunity as a group to rank 1 through whatever the number is. So you'll have that spreadsheet available any moment now, and awesome, thank you. So anytime between now and next week, please take a look, bring your thoughts, and then we can decide them as a group. All right, anything from the public, open
Actually,
forum?
before we go,
Yes.
sorry, I just remembered that on June 18th, Wednesday, at 6:30 p.m., DOT is holding an open house at the PAC with regards to the Powder Point Bridge basically project, and it's an opportunity for folks to attend and have a conversation with DOT and see what their plans are for the Powder Point Bridge. So an important opportunity for members of the public to attend and get to find out what's going on, and that's Wednesday, June 18th, 6:30 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center.
Okay, please come.
May I inquire as to, you had mentioned that next week we're doing the priorities for the budget
Yes.
season. And I also, that's the last meeting before town meeting, so I think
Yep.
we're going to be visiting all of the articles.
Yes,
It sounds like a very large agenda for one night.
it may be, but it's stuff that needs to get done. So I will endeavor to get through it as quickly as possible. The votes for special town meeting, I think, will be pretty straightforward for us to discuss and vote. But certainly I'll keep it moving along. But I hear you. Anything from the public for open forum?
Yes,
Mike Herlihy.
Mike Hurley.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I have a state. Sorry.
We hear you.
Yeah, I'm Mike Hurley, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get my screens here so I can read a written statement, which I can provide to the planning department. My concern is with the Duxbury, express concern with the Duxbury Town ADU bylaw as it's written for the special town meeting on June 16th. My concerns are twofold. First, the 900 square foot minimum is too restrictive relative to the needs for alternative housing solutions in our community as expressed in Vision Duxbury, and the repetitive anecdotal findings of the town's Livable Duxbury Task Force. Of Duxbury's 5,000 properties with dwellings, 75% have the gross living area listed in town records to support an ADU larger living area. For example, if the maximum area were 1,500 square feet, or 50% of the gross living area of the primary dwelling. The second concern I have is that the total prohibition of short-term rentals may not be in the best interest of many community members, especially those with the financial need to rent part of their home. That noted, STRs are extremely tricky to govern, and to walk very softly here, saying complete prohibition is an easy way out, but it may be taking away opportunity from people. To date, there have only been 2 public discussions, both in the past 2 weeks, regarding the proposed ADU bylaw on the warrant. I believe more public dialogue is needed to make the most of the ADU opportunity to alleviate the housing needs in our community while preserving the look and feel which we value so much of our town. This type of dialogue is not conducive to the town meeting setting. Introducing it prior to June 16th is likely to create confusion with the needed MBTA passage to ensure maximum grants and state funding. My recommendation is for no action on the ADU bylaw until sufficient consideration can be given to its structure and impact. Respectfully, Mike Early, 56 St. George Street.
Thank you, Mike.
I'll forward that to Rebecca, if that's the appropriate format, and thank you for your
Sure.
consideration.
Thanks for your comment.
Thank you, Mike.
Anyone else from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our first agenda item. This is receipt of a donation by Duxbury Youth Baseball of a 35-foot flagpole at the Chandler Baseball Field. Do we have Mr. Williamson or a representative of Duxbury Youth Baseball here this evening? All right, why don't I go back to this later on, as I don't see anybody.
Do we anticipate, I mean, it is the height of the season. Do we anticipate that he's going to be here?
Yeah,
Okay,
I think he said he was gonna, that's why I keep letting everybody in,
okay,
because I don't know when he's gonna show.
okay. We can come back.
Well, I do see that we have some folks from OCPC, so I'd like
Yeah,
to move
let's
into
get
that.
started with that. Yeah.
Next is review and vote to sign a letter of support regarding AARP age-friendly designation for OCPC region. And we have Mary Waldron, who's the Executive Director of OCPC. And I see we also have Paul Umano.
Yes, good evening, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity to come before you to speak. Paul Umano is our Senior Grant Specialist. He's been with OCPC for over a year, and as I just heard you talk about some grants, we should make sure that we connect. I know Renee and Alice and Shane have been both very interactive with us, but we're here today because Old County Planning Council has been working with several of our communities. We have 17 communities. We've worked with Easton, Duxbury. Joanne Zigman had recently worked with the town on the age-friendly, and currently we're working with Kingston. It has come to our attention that we could apply to be for regional designation, so much so that our regional planning to the north, Metropolitan Area Planning Commission, as well as to the south of us, Southeastern Regional Planning. So they have this designation, and we had some conversations with them about what some of the benefits could be, and most of it really is that we could apply for the whole region and be working with all our communities. Great models that have been used already. And so I'm going to have Paul just speak briefly about a little bit more about the detail, because the application we want to be able to put in very soon, but we are looking for the letter of support for this regional application. So Paul?
Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Thanks to members of the committee for having me tonight. So Mary explained it the best. So we're really looking for a letter of support from you all this evening relative to our designation as an age-friendly region. As Mary mentioned, we've worked closely with Duxbury as well as Kingston, Brockton, and Plymouth relative to the age-friendly designation. So now it's really our turn here to be designated as a region and continue to do the great work that we're doing in our communities, but also keeping in mind that we are an area agency on aging, and we have additional communities that we work with. And this will really allow us to continue to do that great work and to develop age-friendly plans and obviously open up the door to more grant opportunities. So again, we appreciate your time this evening and look forward to getting your support.
Questions from the board?
Just before we go into questions, do you want me to read the letter into the record?
Yes, why don't you?
Okay.
Good suggestion, thank you.
All right. So this letter is been sent to Antron Watson, Age-Friendly Director, AARP Massachusetts, 1 Beacon Street, Suite 2301, Boston, MA 02108. Dear Mr. Watson, as elected officials and municipal leaders of communities in the Old Colony region, we support the Old Colony Planning Council's request for a region to be designated as age-friendly by AARP. Several municipalities in our area have already received the age-friendly designation. More and more are striving to achieve this goal. The region's population is aging, and with that change comes opportunities and challenges. Older adults are essential members of our communities, and our region strives not only to meet their needs, but also to ensure their inclusion in social life and community decision-making. As our region continues to age, providing critical services in housing, transportation, recreation, health, and economic opportunity will become increasingly pronounced. OCPC's support in the development of a municipal-level, volunteer-led livability committees and local action plans has already led to significant progress in making our region age-friendly. For example, over 60 volunteers are leading initiatives in Duxbury to improve livability across all 8 domains. Plymouth will soon have an age and dementia-friendly brand and pledge to recognize local businesses. Kingston recently received a state community compact grant to launch planning efforts in their community in partnership with OCPC. Additionally, as explained in the application, OCPC has been integrating age-friendly principles into many of its local and regional planning efforts. We wholeheartedly support OCPC's commitment to age-friendly planning and engagement that includes older adults. We look forward to continuing our partnership with OCPC and hope that you will support the request for regional designation. Sincerely, Select Board, Town of Duxbury, MA.
Thank you, Fernando. Questions or comments from the board?
I have a question. And it is not because I don't support these efforts. Obviously, we're all getting older, so we're all going to be beneficiaries of this. However, I always am concerned about strings attached. Are there any strings attached? Are there any requirements that we must do in order to be accepted as a regional group?
It's a very good question, thank you. No, there are no strings attached. In fact, one of the things I probably should have said in the onset is that the work that we apply for this regional status does not affect anything that has happened with the town in terms of your recent age-friendly plan that Joanne from our office worked. So no plan, no strings attached, no, yep, in 3 years there's going to be this. It is really the work that we're doing to really involve the inclusiveness of the age and dementia-friendly community. I'm going to be 65 this year. I totally classify now for that age, and but again, just some of our numbers demographically, us baby boomers are in that field, and there are some things that we just want to encourage where there's no mandates that we have to be placed on anyone.
Thank you.
Excellent. I'll just add, we do have a very vibrant
Yes.
group here in Duxbury. It was formerly known as the Age and Dementia Friendly Task Force, now known as Livable Duxbury, to be a bit more inclusive with the name. But we have a tremendous group of volunteers, and among them actually is somebody who's on the screen here, Mike Herlihy. Mike, I was curious if you have any thoughts on this letter of support while we have you.
Well, we cannot afford to lose Joanne's Signature.
Neither can we, right?
Yeah, no, you've really been flexible, supportive. Sometimes we can't get enough time, but she's been a keystone of us moving forward. And this whole livable thing is really a challenge and a long-term thing. We've introduced this livable Duxbury movement, renamed it, rebranded it, etc. But to be honest with you, we're just starting to get to be more effective working with the existing town organization. The town already has a great number of people, many of them volunteers involved in many aspects of things. So we bring new energy to the table, and we have to be careful to make sure we have a blended front moving forward.
Thanks, Mike.
So,
It's certainly something that's important for the town to do. We see what the demographic figures are looking like long-term, and this is definitely a need. So thank you to OCPC for taking the lead on this, and thanks, I can tell you from my experience as a liaison to the Council on Aging, I've seen the work that's gone on, not only from the volunteers, but from your department or your planning council with Joanne, who's been terrific. Yeah.
She's really incredible. Thank you. I will relay that message.
Excellent. Well, this is great. If there's nothing further, I'd be pleased to entertain a motion.
I move the Select Board approve the letter of support for the OCPC to join the AARP network of age-friendly states and communities.
Second.
Any further discussion? Here and none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We look
Thanks,
forward
Mike.
to working with the town. Thank you.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we don't have anybody from baseball yet, right? Okay. So let's move on now to review and sign a proposed letter to Governor Maura Healey and Attorney General Andrea Campbell in Re, March 8th, 2025, 8 ATM, Article 25, request to stop evaporation of Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station's untreated, radioactively and chemically contaminated industrial wastewater. And I see we have Mr. and Mrs. Lampert here this evening from Nuclear Advisory Committee. Mrs. Lampert.
Yes. Again, Duxbury has been a leader in this whole issue of public safety and deposition of the contaminated wastewater. We took the lead on having the first meeting for the proposal to discharge into the bay. And again, at annual town meeting, we had a article which the letter refers to get in touch with the governor and the attorney general to enforce the laws that exist to prevent discharge into the air. Once it goes into the air, which has been going on since Holtec bought the plant, that's back in 2019, they had 2 million gallons of this contaminated wastewater, and they have been evaporating it 24/7, and it is not filtered to remove particulates prior to its discharge. The winds typically blow towards the Cape, but the winds are variable here, and in the summer we have an inversion called the sea breeze effect, and so wherever it lands, too bad, whether it's on the beach, in the bay, or on somebody's house. And so this is a no-brainer to stop. Again, Duxbury led the way, and subsequently, all the towns on Cape Cod, with the exception of Barnstable that did not have a election, they all voted unanimously to send a letter, much like ours, to the governor and attorney general. Also, the town of Plymouth did the same, overwhelming vote, and just this weekend, Situate did the same. And so I think that helps reinforce, on the one hand, our letter, which is mentioned in the letter, and also I think it shows that on this issue of public safety, Duxbury should congratulate themselves, because we're not only serving ourselves, but serving the whole region that is impacted. Currently, there is 800 and just about 32,000 gallons left. At the last state meeting of the Nuclear Decommissioning Citizen Advisory Panel, it's a mouthful, at that meeting, they indicated that they could evaporate it all by the time they plan to take down the building. Obviously, you can't take down the building if the water is still inside. And so that's a game plan. And hopefully, the Attorney General will enforce laws that is actually her job. And so that's the story. We thank you, as always, for stepping up on this issue. And if you want an update of any other issues that are going on, such as Holtec appealing to the Department of Environmental Protection the decision not to allow a change in their discharge permit so they could dump into the bay. So they've got us going one way or another. And on the good guys who will be starting the trial in, when is it, next Thursday? June 11th.
10 days.
Yeah, 10 days, and it will go for 4 or 5 days. And at this trial, those opposing Holtec will be DEP, it will be the town of Plymouth, town of Barnstable, and a group on Cape Cod, the Association to Protect Cape Cod, and Jim Lampert representing the environmental group of 10, you could have 10 to 20 people in an environmental group in this suit. And so he has been very busy in his bathrobe until about 1 or 2 every afternoon for months on this, because this is serious business. Holtec has a couple of big-powered law firms. And so that's one thing. Jim could answer any questions. And the other is the small modular reactors called cute nukes. Holtec would like to put them on Pilgrim's property. It is now under discussion by the folks in Plymouth, and I think it would behoove the rest of the communities on Cape Cod and from the canal on up to get educated on this issue. And so that will be a focus point of our committee. Mm-hmm. Like with radiation that will last, radionuclides, for centuries into the future, this Pilgrim subject lasts on and on and on. So there's no end, and as a result, we'd like some younger people on our committee. Do you have any questions?
Question, what else would you, please?
Question?
Anything from the board?
I think it's pretty straightforward, the
Yeah,
letter, and
I did read the letter, Mary, that is in our packet, and I did wonder if, and there's a revised letter as well, that I think the revision is very good, but I wondered if it would be helpful and more impactful if you list out the towns that are also sending letters. You know, I don't know if it's 3, then not, but if it's 10, it might, I think that's impactful.
I think it's 10 or 11.
It's a big number. It literally is everybody on the case.
It's everybody on the case.
Yeah, I think that we should list them
Plus a
out.
few
I mean,
coming north.
that would be my suggestion.
At town meeting?
No, in the letter that we're proposing.
Right.
It
Said all but one on the Cape.
Yeah, it just says all but one, but why not say subsequently Cape Cod towns such as, and list them all out?
No problem.
Good idea.
I sent it was a good idea, and I sent the article in the Cape Cod Times that lists all the towns, so it'd be quite simple.
Well, why don't we include that in the motion then, that we'll list all the individual communities?
And should we have Fernando read the letter into the record?
what I was going to do was,
It's
I was
kind of
going
lengthy,
to read the beginning and the end,
Yeah,
which
there
I
you
think
go.
are most impactful.
Yep.
Is that okay?
please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. To the Honourable Governor Maura Healy and Attorney General Andrea Campbell, the Select Board of the Town of Duxbury respectfully asks that the Governor and Attorney General take immediate steps to stop Holtec Pilgrim, the owner of Pilgrim Nuclear Power Station, PNPS, and Holtec Decommissioning International HDI that is responsible for PNPS's decommissioning from evaporating, untreated, radioactively and chemically contaminated industrial wastewater into the atmosphere. Evaporation is occurring all day, every day, in violation of state law and posing a threat to public safety, health, safety, and our marine-based economy. Duxbury is a major aquaculture centre in the Commonwealth, as our Attorney General saw during her campaign visit here. The Commonwealth's silence and inaction on evaporation is not what we expect or deserve. A healthy and perceived healthy Cape Cod Bay is key to our blue economy. We respectfully request that both the Attorney General and Governor take action as requested by citizens at the annual town meeting 2025 and soon to follow by votes in towns across Cape Cod and coastal southeast Massachusetts. Respectfully, Select Board, Town of Duxbury, MA.
All right.
I move that the Select Board approve and sign the letter to Governor, approve and sign the amended letter to Governor Maura Healey and Attorney General Andrea Campbell regarding Article 25, request to stop evaporation of Pilgrim nuclear power stations untreated, radioactively and chemically contaminated industrial wastewater.
And that will modify that letter further to include
Correct.
the communities mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Can I just make one comment? That last sentence, Mary, and it says, "and soon to be followed by votes in towns." It says, we requested at our town meeting, "and soon to follow by votes in towns across Cape Cod."
Oh, that's already happened.
Right, so
They
that might,
amend that.
you might want to just amend that, yeah.
So,
So,
move it
to
as
sign the
amended.
amended letter, right? That I read that into the motion, so we're okay then. Okay, good.
okay,
Great.
all right.
We'll
I
second it.
Second, yeah.
I just noticed that a gentleman from Lampert LLC is here, and I just want to make sure there wasn't anything else he wanted to say before. He got up to the podium.
Oh,
just
I
wanted
think he was
make
going to
sure.
answer questions if we had any.
Oh, is it just to answer questions if?
Question, and just make a point on the evaporation.
Sure.
You will hear from Holtec that, oh God, we're not planning to actively evaporate and put in a lot of new equipment that'll cost us a lot of money. They have evaporated since they bought the plant in June of 19, 1 million gallons. They have about 800,000 to go. 6 years to evaporate 1 million, 6 more years until they need to take those buildings down. Much of that has evaporated naturally, as we've all had to fill swimming pools. They've increased the rate of evaporation during the winter by heating the water, ostensibly to heat the building so it's more comfortable to work in. But you'll hear from them, oh, we're not going to evaporate. This is all natural evaporation. Frankly, I don't care what you call it. It's all going to be gone, and it's all going into the air.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim.
Thank you,
May I
Jim.
have a second on that motion?
Yes, second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
And thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim and Mary.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate all your hard work on this. We have a couple of one-day liquor licenses. Why don't we start first with Marshfield Country Club, Boys and Girls Club Golf Classic.
I move that Mr. Paul Tugas, as a representative of the Marshfield Country Club, is granted a one-day wine and malt license for their Boys and Girls Club at Marshfield 2025 Golf Classic to be held at the Marshfield Country Club, 515 Moraine Street, Marshfield, on Monday, June 23rd, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and contingent upon the conditions of the license. I will recuse myself from this vote.
Okay, and just a comment, people may be wondering why we're issuing a license to an organization in another community, and this has to do with the portion of the event that's actually within the confines of the town of Duxbury.
Yeah,
There's
so
a beverage cart located on the 14th hole
Exactly.
on the Duxbury side.
Right.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we have one abstention with Fernando.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, great. Motion carries.
I did hear from Mr. Williamson.
Okay. Is he
He's
coming?
unavailable this evening.
Okay.
Does He didn't need to apologize. They're offering a gift to the town, but he did offer an apology.
Okay, not a problem.
He did get hung up.
We will reschedule post haste.
No, I think we can.
Let's go ahead.
I think we can hear it.
Oh, he doesn't want to present it?
Yeah, unless there's any questions, I don't.
Okay.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
The flagpole.
Yeah.
All right.
We're replacing a flagpole with a flagpole.
Why don't we move forward with that then? We have a receipt of a donation by Duxbury Youth Baseball of a 35-foot flagpole at Chandler Baseball Field. We don't have a proponent, but we do have a motion.
I move that the board vote to receive with sincerest gratitude the gift from Duxbury Youth Baseball of a 35-foot flagpole at the Chandler School to be installed beyond the center field fence area near the soccer concessions building, with a specific location to be agreed upon by the Municipal Services Department.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, just wanted to note the first sentence in Rainey Reed's memorandum. I think it's, as you know, Duxbury Youth Baseball has a long history of providing a wide array of generous donations to the town over the years, and I just wanted to second that. Since I've been on the board, I've noticed this, and they should be commended, and we really do appreciate what they do for the town.
Absolutely. Thank you for stating that, Mike. I think we all feel that way. Excellent. All right, so we have a motion and a second. I will call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you to Duxbury Youth Baseball. All right, next is one-day liquor license for Duxbury Music Festival recital at the South Shore Conservatory.
I move that Ms. Audrey Shore, as a representative of the South Shore Conservatory, is granted a one-day wine and malt license for the music recital to be held at South Shore Conservatory, Ellison Center for the Arts, 64 St. George Street, on Friday, June 27th, 2025, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and contingent upon the conditions of the license.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have minutes, executive session minutes from March 31st, 2025.
I move that we approve the executive session minutes from the 31st of March, 2025.
Second.
All right. Is there a part in there about the contents to be confidential?
I don't have a motion.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's on a
With the
second.
contents to be confidential until the need passes or
So-
something.
Exactly.
So moved.
Yep. All right, so we have a motion. May I have a second?
Yep. Second.
Any discussion? Any edits? Okay. Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have announcements.
The special town meeting will be held on Monday, June 16th, 2025, beginning at 6 p.m. in the Performing Arts Center, PAC, 73 Alden Street. Voter check-in begins at 4:45 p.m.
Wow.
On Saturday, June 7th at 11 a.m., there will be a ribbon-cutting ceremony at the newly created Clancy Playground at Wadsworth Field, weather permitting, to celebrate the new playground in memory of the Clancy children. On Wednesday, June 18th at 6:30 p.m., a public informational meeting will be held by Mass DOT to discuss the proposed Powder Point Bridge replacement project in Duxbury, MA. The proposed project will consist of a complete replacement of the existing bridge. The meeting will take place in the Duxbury Performing Arts Center, PAC, located at 73 Alden Street. The next scheduled Select Board meeting will be Monday, June 9th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
As there is no further business, I will entertain one further motion.
Motion to adjourn the Select Board meeting.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Carries 5-0. Thank you. We're adjourned.